Hey everyone, take a look at the new Player of the Week pack on eFootball. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player, so if you want to hear about particular players, click the description. There'll be a link that take you straight to them. Let's start with let's rate. Got a few 92s this week. Well, the ratings don't look too generous this week. We'll start with Takuma Asano. So, not the first time I've had him Player of the Week. We had one quite recently when he was at Mallorca. He's a whole player this time. Normally a prolific winger. They've changed it to left field as well. Left field is a new position for him, so they've added a left field, made him a whole player. Got a face scan obviously because he's Japanese. This looks a bit better than both of his previous Player of the Week cards. There's a World Cup one as well, actually, an old World Cup Player of the Week card. So yeah, this looks like a good Player of the Week version of him. He's had a few highlight cards. They're all kind of shuffled around a bit, kind of slightly stronger in some areas, weaker in others. Overall, this one looks like it's probably just about the best version we've had of Asano at this point, to be honest. It's looking like a pretty good card, this. At least for an Asano card. Most of the left columns had a decent boost. Right column, physical strength, a bit more defending. Yeah, he's had a pretty decent boost. It's a good version of Asano. Like I say, it looks like it's just about probably the best version we've had of him. And for a left fielder, he looks reasonably tight. He's got some pace. He's not got great balance, but he's got a bit of physical strength. He's okay on the ball. Awareness and finishing are decent. Passing's not. I think it's another one of these cards. We've seen a few of these. We've always seen them now and then. There's been a few lately where he's a wide man who's clearly going to be a lot better at getting into shooting positions and getting goals for you than he is at playmaking. And I'm guessing he's not got any passing skills. No, he's not. So what have they done skill-wise here? They have... Okay, so all he's got in his GP card is long range shooting, dipping shot, and super sub. So everything else is new. And like I say, long range curl, long range shooting, first time shot. It's all about shooting this guy, not passing. He's a super sub as well. Always good to have an attacking super sub, fighting spirit. Heading as well. He's not going to win too many headers for you though. He's not the tallest. Yeah, he's a bit short. Reasonable jumping to be fair. But like I say, he's not the shortest, so his vertical reach won't be great. Heading's terrible, but certainly with his shooting, yeah, looks pretty tidy from that left wing as a whole player. Could be decent for your Spanish league squad. Could be a reasonable option for that one. It's not an amazing card, obviously 92 rated. He's not amazing on the ball, and you will have to be careful with his passing, especially without any passing skills. But yeah, as a left winger, either left midfield as a whole player or left wing forward without an active playing style, cutting aside into his right foot, could get you a goal or two. Could be a decent one, especially as a super sub maybe for your Spanish league squad. In terms of other positions, there's an SS, can't pass the ball to save his life. I wouldn't put him as an SS. As a centre forward, 82 awareness, 84 finishing. Are they good enough for you as a centre forward? For me, they're not. If you're really desperate, you're really lacking options for your Spanish league squad, for example, he could do a job for you there, or maybe for your Japan squad as well, of course. Right wing, can't cross the ball. He's a right footer, so I don't know about that. He could still do a job, especially as a right midfielder, as a whole player, cutting inside into making some good attacking runs into shooting positions. But I think it's going to be best from the left wing, whether it's without an active playing style as a left-sided forward, or whether it's a left midfielder as a whole player. He's definitely got some qualities here. He's got the pace, he's got some awareness, some finishing on him, certainly got some shooting skills, and he's a super sub. So yes, he's slightly lacking once, whereas passing is really not great, and he's not brilliant on the ball, but he could be worse. And certainly with the awareness and finishing and that whole player playing style, especially if you play him as a left midfielder, he could do worse. So I think it's just one of these cards where it's not an amazing one. I don't think too many people are going to be too keen to get him. But if you do get him, maybe it's for your Spanish league squad, he could be a handy option, especially off the left wing, and especially as a super sub. So yeah, not a great one, but could be a kind of handy one here and there for some people. Next we have former Liverpool midfielder Tyler Morton. So he's got a face scan. He plays for Lyon now in France. He's normally a DMF orchestrator. They've changed him to a centre midfield box-to-box. It's the first time I've had a feature version of him. From his GP card, he's much worse defensively, but it's one of these cards where he's obviously not as defensive. He's normally a DMF. They've pushed him a bit further up the pitch now, so they've taken a bunch of points off his defending. They boosted him pretty much everywhere else. He had a pretty decent boost across the board, really, apart from his defending. So he's had a pretty good boost on the whole. But yeah, on the whole, it's just a kind of okay centre midfielder who's kind of got a bit of everything. It's one of these cards where there's nothing really particularly great here. I'm not looking at anything and thinking he's great at anything. The passing is kind of okay. On the ball is kind of okay. Attacking awareness sucks. Defensive awareness is pretty poor as well. On the whole, defensively, he's kind of okay. You can do a bit of defensive work, but not a great deal. Pace is decent for a centre mid, to be fair. But everything else then is kind of okay. It's just an alright centre fielder, but what are you going to use him for? French League challenge? There isn't one. Lyon aren't in the Champions League, so you're not going to be able to use many of the kind of Champions League or European clubs challenges that they do. So yeah, very limited use for this guy. Obviously, if you've got an England squad, he could do a job for you if you need midfield options. If you do a Liverpool past and present, I imagine a fair few people do that. But yeah, overall, is it a bad card? Not terrible, but is it a particularly good one? Not really. Is there much use for him? Not really. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be too many people outside of probably the Liverpool and Lyon fan bases who'll be keen to get this guy. Let's have a look at what they've done skill-wise though. They have added quite a few, so his GP card only has cut behind and turn and weighted pass. Everything else is new. They're getting one touch and through. Super important for a centre midfielder. Interception, fighting spirit. Yeah, it's just a bog standard centre mid really. There's no glaring weakness. It's just there are certain attributes I'd like to be a bit higher. And yeah, like I say, it's not a great card on the whole, and there's not a lot of use for him. But certainly, if you've got any kind of emotional attachment to this guy, like I say, Liverpool fans, Lyon fans, or if you really need a midfielder for your England squad, he could be a handy one to stick in the middle, maybe in a double pivot at a stretch. But it's not the most exciting one. So yeah, there could be some people who'd be keen to get this guy, but it's not a brilliant card on the whole. I imagine a fair few people will be keen to get this guy though. We've got Big Paul. He's a target man, of course, centre forward. Got a face scan. It would be nice to make him a box in the box at some point. I do prefer that playing style on strikers, especially if I'm putting crosses in, but he's a target man as you would usually expect him to be. We have had a previous Player of the Week version of Big Paul. This one is slightly better than that one. I would say primarily because the jumping is quite a bit higher. Similar case with his highlight. I've got his highlight card from when he was playing previously for Trabzonspor. Pretty similar overall, but yeah, you got a big boost on the jumping on this one, and when you're going to be using him the way that most people are going to use Onuachu, which is basically spamming long balls and crosses towards him, that could be a difference maker. His Showtime card is better, but even though it's better, you do need the total package boost. It's a Turkish league booster card, and you have to put quite a lot of points on his aerial stats to get his jumping as high as this, to be fair. So obviously it is a better card than this one, but not in every way. And compared to his GP card, we've lost the point of attacking awareness because that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. We gained 1 point on finishing though, hooray. He had a nice boost on the ball and passing. They've nerfed his set piece taking. I don't know why they've done that. A bit of a boost to his speed and his stamina. His physical and aerial strength, and not just his jumping. So the physical contact, jumping and heading all been boosted a bit. Yeah, on the whole, it's a tidy looking target man if you like a target man. What they've done skill wise, the Big Paul. We've gained long range curler. Didn't know he did a long range curler. I saw the acrobatic finishing he did. That was pretty nice. But he's got long range curler as well and long range shooting. They've added heel trick. They've added one touch pass, fighting spirit. He didn't always have aerial superiority. I've got his original GP card from right at the beginning, and he actually used to have pretty decent jumping back then on that old 3-star GP card. Didn't have aerial superiority though. I'm not sure he's always had acrobatic finishing, but I think he's got it now though on his GP card. But what matters is that he's got all these skills now on this card. So heading, acrobatic, and aerial. Got the aerial ones. And then with his feet as well, long range curl, long range shooting, first time shot, one touch pass, a nice bonus. Heel trick is a very handy one to have. Penalty specialist, fighting spirit. Yeah, you got a very usable target man here. Obviously, the big thing with Paul Onuachu, if anyone is not familiar with this guy, is that he's an absolute giant. 201 centimeters. He's about 12 feet tall, with 80 jumping. 80 is not amazing for the jumping stat, but it is going to give him some pretty decent aerial reach. I'm just going to check eFootball now actually see what his actual vertical reach is. So it's 282.5, and then when he gets his game plan boost, 283.9 centimeters. That is a pretty impressive leap he's got on him. So yeah, this guy is going to be very strong in the air. Very. If you do like whacking a lot of crosses into the box, this guy could be pretty fun for you. Obviously, the awareness and the finishing aren't amazing. He's not going to be nice on the ball in terms of the stats and the fact that he's a big, tall guy and poor balance as well. But yeah, it's clear what this guy's good at. He's a target man. He's going to stand around up front. He's going to wait for you to put the ball on his head, and if you do that, he's going to be good for you. So yeah, I don't need to go into any more detail on what he's good at and how to use this guy. One downside is that most of us don't get to do the Turkish Sheet Challenge anymore for some reason. That could be one that goes against this card. And obviously, if you don't like using target man, if you prefer to keep the ball on the deck and put, you prefer goal poachers and a bit of pace and stuff up front, then he might not be for you exactly. But if he is your kind of striker, regardless of the Turkish Sheet Challenges, could be a very fun card to pick up for quite a few people. We've got another striker next with Danny Welbeck from Brighton. Got a booster as well. So he's got his face scan, and the booster is, what is it? Ball control, shooting all day long. There you go, shooting. So Danny Welbeck, we've had a couple of Danny Welbecks before, and before I forget, his weaker foot accuracy's gone up. That's good. Yeah, we've had a couple of highlights. I got one of them recently. I forget which pack it was. I think it was the Treasure Link pack, actually. I've only just recently trained him up, so pretty much guaranteed I'll get this one now, because this one is a bit better. Certainly a bit higher rated overall, but the stats are shuffled around a little bit. You do get a bit more attacking awareness on both of his highlight cards. That's one thing to keep in mind, at least on auto allocation. And also on his GP card, you get +1 attacking awareness. They've taken 1 point away from his attacking awareness because he's a centre forward who played well enough to get into Player of the Week. So that makes perfect sense. Well done for that. So -1 point on his attacking awareness from his GP card, but on the ball and passing boosted again. Finishing as well is at a boost. His finishing is terrible on his GP card, so that's good, especially on the A form boost. When he's not on A form, yeah, 84, not brilliant. But when he's on A form, especially if you've got an 89 rated manager hitting the 90 mark, yeah, he's got a pretty good finish in there. What else they've done? There's nothing really major else. So a bunch of stats they've boosted a little bit. Skill wise, what they've done skill wise. So we've lost scissors feint. They always take scissors feint away. We've taken away chip shot control and dipping shot, I think, as well. And we've gained a bunch actually. Long range shooting, first time shot. So he didn't already have first time shot. That's a big addition. One touch pass. Fighting spirit is new, and aerial superiority. Interesting. Danny Welbeck. I've said this about a few strikers. There's a few. Tammy Abraham is one of them. There's some strikers who they seem to be better in the air than their stats suggest, and Welbeck's one of them. We're not acrobatic finishing. That's a bit of a shame, but when you're putting crossing towards this guy's head with heading and aerial superiority, his jumping is not amazing. But just based on personal experience, I reckon he could be decent in the air. Not amazing in the air, but he could be decent. So aerial superiority could be a good addition as well. Got a pretty nice section of skills there now in him. Big upgrade skill wise. And yeah, I think this is one of these cards where when he's an A form, he could be a pretty decent one. The attacking awareness is not amazing. It's not terrible though. It's kind of okay. But that finishing when he gets onto A form, even when he's not on A form, I mean, I do like that to be a bit higher than that. But you can get away with it. Yeah, he's pretty decent on the ball for a goal poacher. I'd like a bit more pace. Yeah, there's a bunch of stats I'd like to be a bit higher. Balance is pretty poor as well, to be fair. I feel like he deserves a bit more physical contact, to be fair, Welbeck. But yeah, I think especially on A4 and that ball control and finishing as well. With an 89 rated manager, both of those will hit the 90 mark. Even without, you'll get to 89. So pretty tidy ball control and finishing. He does get a bit more physical contact actually with the boost. I've just noticed that. Kicking power, same thing with kicking power. It gets up towards 90 or all the way to 90 with an 89 rated manager. Yeah, there's some strengths with this guy. He's not amazing. Like I said, there's a few stats I'd like to be a little bit higher. I'd like a little bit more pace. I'd like a little bit more attacking awareness. Finishing as well when he's not on A form, but there are some qualities there, and he's had some nice additions to his skills. So this isn't an amazing centre forward. Like I say, there's a few stats I'd like to be a little bit higher, but on A form especially for the English League Challenge, if nothing else, he could be a handy striker for you. He's kind of got a little bit of everything. Like I say, adding air superiority there. In my experience, he is quite decent in the air, and again, he's a super sub. I always say having a good attacking super sub can be very handy. So yeah, it could be a useful card to have. There are a few stats I'd like to be a bit higher, so I can't say it's a great card on the whole. But I do think he's pretty tidy, and he could definitely do a job for some people in the English League Challenge at least. And straight to another English League striker, although Eddie Nketiah this time is an attacking midfielder, and he's a whole player. That's quite an interesting change, and he's got a booster, so he's got a face scan, and the booster is that striker's instinct, isn't it? Attacking awareness, ball control, finishing, acceleration, or is it offense? Striker's instinct. I was right the first time. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So they've changed it to an attacking midfielder, but is he an attacking midfielder? Well, he's got 75 low pass, so no, he's not. He can't pass the ball. I'm guessing they probably added one touch and through, have they? No, they've not added either of them. So they've not added any passing skills, and they've given him a terrible low pass attribute, but he's apparently an attacking midfielder now. I don't think so. I think we can forget about that. I think he's either going to be an SS hole player or a centre forward. With that booster, he's looking like a pretty tidy centre forward. So let's just have a quick look at previous versions. So we've had he's normally a fox in the box, by the way. They've changed him from a fox in the box to a hole player. That's his normal playing style, and he's normally a striker, of course. They've added attacking mid and SS positions. He's not normally got those positions. Weaker foot accuracy is up again, so that's good. So yeah, previous ones, we've not had too many Nketiah cards. I've had a couple of Player of the Week cards and a couple of highlight cards as well. This one looks like it's just about the best version of him with the booster active in terms of overall ability. Without the booster, there's a couple of highlights that can match it. Certainly they're a bit better on auto allocation with the attacking awareness and finishing. So as a centre forward, you could certainly make the case for those. But in terms of a lot of other attributes and the overall ability, I think this Eddie Nketiah card overall is just about statistically the best version we've had of him. So he has had a nice boost to his passing and his on-the-ball stats, even though his passing is still not good enough for attacking midfield. Nice boost to his defending as well, very nice. Kicking power boosted as well, physical contact, stamina. We've lost the point of finishing, but with the boost, we get the points back, hooray. Or some of them. We've lost 3 points of acceleration as well, but we get all 3 of those back with the boost. I don't know why they do these things, very strange. Right, let's look at the skills quickly, and we go back to the stats. So we've lost gamesmanship. That's the only one we've lost. We've gained cut behind and turn. We've not lost scissors feint. For once, an attacking player retains scissors feint. Fantastic, that's exciting. So we got cut behind and turn is new. Long range curler, they always add long range curler to attacking players. First time shot, outside curler, and super sub, another good attacking super sub. Interesting. So you've got most of the skills you want for a striker. He's not the biggest. He's not going to be great in the air, clearly, but in terms of just taking chances with his feet, certainly long range curler, accurate finishing, first time shot. He's a super sub. He's got soul control as well, nice. But yeah, we go into these stats. It's a question of where you're going to use him, and as I touched on initially, he's not got the passing to play as an attacking midfielder, but as an SS, I think as an SS, you can certainly get away with him. You're still going to have to be careful with his passing, but with an SS with that whole player playing style, he could well make some very decent runs for you, and especially when he's in A form, with that attack awareness, the finishing's pretty decent, tidy on the ball, bit of pace on him, balance and kicking power. He could be a pretty interesting SS, but he's probably going to still be best as a centre forward, though, to be honest. He won't have an active playing style. I keep saying I'm going to eventually get back to those tactics videos showing what players play like without an active playing style. I just don't have the time at the moment, but I will get back to it, so I will be able to prove that at some point. But as you've seen so far, the first few videos I did of those type, it doesn't seem to have a detrimental effect at all. So I think this guy is a centre forward without an active playing style. Pace, awareness, finishing, very nice on the ball for a striker, reasonable passing for a striker, balance, kicking power, good selection of skills. I think as a centre forward, he could be very nice. Without the A form boost, bit iffy. It's just the awareness and the finishing. It's just those 2 attributes when he's not on A form. For some people, they'll be fine. For me, they're a bit on the low side. So without A form, I'm not too sure about him as a striker. It could still be a decent SS, but I think certainly on A form, could be a very interesting SS whole player. But certainly as a centre forward on A form, I think he could be very tidy for the English League Challenge and in general. So yeah, it's a very interesting version of Nketiah, different profile obviously with the new playing style. I would discount the new position, certainly AMF, although yeah, SS he could still be decent, but yeah, as an SS or a centre forward, especially on A form, could be a pretty handy one, could be a tidy one. Be very interesting to see what he's like if I pick him up. Another interesting one now, we've got Matheus Nunes, the right back. So this is not the first time he's been a right back. His GP card now has right back as a fully proficient position. And he had a Premier League pack version. I think it's the previous Premier League pack. Or is it the current one, actually? I forget now. But yeah, the Premier League one, the recent Premier League one, has right back as a fully proficient position. They seem to kind of make him more of a right back. They added a few skills for that position. And he's a pretty good right back, that card. And this one is likewise. So he's normally a centre mid box to box. He's now a right back on this card and an attacking fullback. Got a face scan before I forget. They've also made him semi-proficient as a right midfielder, even though you can't position train these cards, which is really, really useful. They still keep doing that. It must be some kind of automatic thing when they make these cards. It's a weird one, but yeah. Yeah, this is very much a right back card. I mean, you look at these attributes, he's not great on the ball. Passing is terrible as a midfielder, so he's not really comparable to previous versions of him as a midfielder at all. I wouldn't use him as a midfielder. He's not going to be great there. But in terms of other versions, you can compare him to that Premier League pack version as a right back, and very similar overall. So when you auto allocate that one, if you look at the one from the Premier League pack, if you auto allocate it, he's got more low body. They always go heavy on the low body stats on a fullback. So auto allocating that card as a fullback, more speed, more stamina. But if you take the points away from low body and kind of balance them out elsewhere and try to match this card overall, very similar. So if you've got that one from the Premier League pack, you don't need this one in my opinion. Slight difference for the skills as well, to be fair. This one you see defensively, you've got interception and blocker. That one from the Premier League pack has interception and man marking. Whether you prefer man marking or blocker, personal preference, but you can of course put blocker on the Premier League pack version because you can train it. So I think on the whole I would prefer the one from the Premier League pack really. But yeah, ultimately the bottom line, if you're comparing this to previous versions, as a midfielder it sucks, but as a right back there's only one to really compare it to, and it's pretty similar to the Premier League one. Just the fact you can train the Premier League one gives it a slight edge for me. Compared to his GP card, if you train his GP card as a right back, He's got a bit more speed, a bit more kicking power, but just about everywhere else, this card's been boosted. Of course, you expect it's going to be obviously boosted from his GP card, but yeah, a bit more speed and kicking power on his GP card as a right back, especially boosted defensively and physically this version though. And then skill wise, as I mentioned, blocker is obviously a new one, and interception. His GP card doesn't have either of those. Outside curler's new, through passing and pinpoint crossing are new as well. And first time shot, not the most useful one on a right back, but yeah, on the whole, as a skill set for a right back, attacking right back especially, got the passing and crossing. Outside curl is a handy one. Soul control likewise a nice bonus on the fullback. But then interception, blocker and fighting spirit. It would be nice if you had man marking. I do like that skill on the fullback, but on the whole, you got a very solid attacking right back here. You got decent pace. Maybe do a little bit more acceleration just to get towards that 90 mark, but you're near enough. He's got decent pace, bit of physical strength. I mean, that's decent for an attacking fullback. Would like a bit more balance, but it's not too low. Stamina's fine. Defensively, he's pretty fine. Down the left, he's pretty fine as well. Yeah, you got a very solid attacking right back. I think for the English League Challenge could be a very viable option. And in general, if you'd like attacking fullbacks, he can certainly do a job for you. I think it's pretty solid. It's an interesting version of Nunes. Obviously, they have kind of switched him up and made him a right back, but. Yeah, like I say, if you look at the versions of him, the only one that's really comparable as a right back is that one from the Premier League pack. Very similar overall. As a midfielder, though, that is the slight downside with this one. You've still got those positions left mid and centre mid, but like I say, I don't think he's good enough to play those positions. Yes, he's got a good selection of skills there, but the passing stats are terrible. On the ball, he's not great. Everywhere else, yeah, he's fine. So if you're really desperate, you could do that, but I don't think he's great there. I think it's very much just a right back version of Nunes. I think it could be a pretty handy one for a fair few people, to be honest. Next we have Illia Zabarnyi. So he's at PSG at this point. He's got a face scan, build-up centre-back. He's got much longer hair than that now. They need to update his face scan. I wouldn't be surprised if Zabarnyi's in the next Champions League Player of the Week pack actually next week. He had a pretty good game for PSG last night when they beat Barca. Another one with weaker foot accuracy being increased. We've only had one previous version of Zabarnyi. That one, actually, when you auto-allocate it, you train it up, is slightly better overall than this one, but the difference really between this one and that one is that one has a bunch more points on those core defensive attributes down the middle, but this one's got a lot more pace and more skills as well. So not clear cut that the highlight's better. I personally prefer this one overall, I think, because those defensives are still strong enough. From his GP card, they've actually nerfed his defensive attributes. They've taken a bunch of points away from his defending, boosted his pace and stamina, a bit on his passing, taken 4 points away from heading. They keep nerfing heading on players. I don't think they just think we're not going to notice that, but that's just weird. I don't know why they've done that. But yeah, it's a fairly standard centre-back boost for a Player of the Week card. Annoying they've nerfed the defending slightly, but it's still strong enough. He's still going to hit the 90 mark on all four of those defending attributes. They're pretty high. But we have had that boost to his pace, of course. Jumping's not amazing. 6'2", 6'3", 80 jumping. He's not going to have amazing vertical reach. He does have aerial superiority. He'll be okay in the air, but he won't be brilliant. What have they added there? First time shot. I guess he scored a goal then. Not the most useful skill for a centre-back, but one-touch pass is a handy one to have. And they've added... Oh, aerial superiority is new, actually. Interesting. I thought you already had that. So they've added aerial superiority. They've also added blocker and fighting spirit. Blocker's a big addition. So, yeah, a couple of very nice additions to his skills there. What's he lacking? He's lacking acrobatic clearance. That's the only one he's really lacking there as a centre-back. But you've got a couple of nice passing skills thrown in there and a couple of very important defensive ones. And on the whole, you've got a solid centre-back there. Like I say, that aerially, I'd like a bit more jumping on him. But really, apart from that, there's no weakness there. He's got a good section of skills with a couple of very nice additions. The only thing that really goes against this card is that there's no league change for him. When we get the European clubs on, of course, now and then we can use him in that, of course, and any unlimited challenges and, of course, divisions. But, yeah, no league chance to use him in. I'd like a bit more jumping. But outside of that, yeah, skills looking good. Attributes looking pretty good. It's a solid centre-back, to be honest. Yeah, not a lot more to add. I think if you get this in your you need any more options in your centre-back ranks, yeah, it could be a very tidy one to have. And here's another centre-back. We've got Edmond Tapsoba from Leverkusen. Got a face scan. He's a build-up centre-back. Unwavering form, but again, there's no league change for him, so it's another one. Same as Zabarnyi, really. You might get the European clubs challenge pop up now and again. You can use them in that, but apart from that, no league change, which is a bit of a shame. Does get a live update, though, because Leverkusen are a partner club now. We've only had one previous version of Tapsoba on eFootball. There were a couple on back in the PES days. He was a good one back then. He looks like a pretty solid one now as well. There was one when Leverkusen became a partner club. We had a highlight card in that Leverkusen pack. If you look at the Leverkusen highlight card, he's got a few more points on tackling and his physical and aerial strength, but this one has more pace and stamina. So kind of pros and cons, depends on which attributes you would prioritize, but pretty similar on the whole. He's not had much of a boost on his defending, just a slight shuffle really, shuffled a few points around, boost on his pace and stamina, another pretty bug standard player of the week centre back boost really. But he's, again though, we've lost 6 points off heading, I think. Why do they keep doing that? Nerfed his heading, we've lost 1 point of physical contact, I think. Why? What's the point? Anyway, skill wise, what's happened there? We've lost penalty specialist, I think we can live without that. We've gained fighting spirit and sliding tackle, that's it. So not a great deal of change there. Fighting spirit is a very nice addition though. He's got just about everything I think for a centre back: man marking, session blocker, he's got sliding and acrobatic, and he's got heading and aerial fight. Yeah, got a really good set of skills for a centre back. First time shot, yeah, he's already got that. It's not going to make too much difference. Low off the pass, a nice one. But yeah, defensively he's got everything he needs. He's looking pretty solid. About 6'3", 6'4", jumping 84. So yeah, he's going to be better aerially than Zabarnyi. Even though 84 doesn't look too great for his vertical reach, he's got aerial, he's a decent height, so he should be alright in the air, should be fine. Good physical strength there, even though I've nerfed his heading. Defensively, he's pretty strong, although it's a shame he's not at least one higher on defensive awareness. He can't get hit that 90 mark, but it's not going to make a great deal of difference. He's pretty strong defensively. And like I say, a bit of a boost to his pace. He's got decent pace for centre-back, stamina as well. It's another solid centre-back, really. There's no real weakness there. You've got a good selection of skills. The stats are looking pretty good. But it's just shame there's no lead change for him. But on the whole, yeah, nothing really bad about him statistically. So it's another good, solid centre-back card. And now we've got Magic Mike. So booster Maignan. Got a face scan, got a booster. And the booster is... it's goalkeeping, isn't it? It's not saving. Yeah, goalkeeping, so that's the one that doesn't include reach. Not going to make a huge difference. But yeah, we've got a good Maignan card here. Yeah, before the boost is activated, it's not the best player of the week card of Maignan we've had. It's up there with the best ones. There's a few up there around the same level, 2 or 3. But with the booster activated, yeah, it looks like the best player of the week version we've had of Maignan. His Showtime card is better, but to be honest, there's not a lot of difference. This is pretty comparable to his Showtime card. When you got that A-form boost activated, the Showtime card's got better jumping because obviously it's only these trending cards where they know if to jumping. But in terms of the most important stats, I don't see a great deal of difference between this one and the Showtime card, to be honest. And if you look at his other highlight cards, trainable cards, he's up there with the better ones, to be honest. Even before the boost, when you get the boost, probably gives it the edge. So this is a really good version of Maignan. It's up there with the better versions of Maignan. It's maybe not quite the best, but it's very good. This he's got unwavering form as well. Can use him in the Italian League Challenge. No real weakness. You could say the catching's a little bit dodgy, but I mean, before A form, yeah, you could say the catching's a bit dodgy, but even without the A form boost, pretty strong there. You know, you got 3 of the 5 hitting the 90 mark. Parrying's not far off. Catching's not terrible, even though it's a little bit iffy. But certainly on A form, yeah, this is a good goalie card. He's got reasonable arm coverage, 6'3". One thing he is lacking is low punt. He's got most of the goalie skills. Just low punt is a bit of a miss for him, for most people at least. But yeah, it's a pretty good solid version of Maignan on this. There's been a couple of free ones. If you've got the Yu-Gi-Oh or Tsubasa ones, this one's clearly better. Even before the boost, it's slightly better, I think. I will review those Yu-Gi-Oh cards at some point soon. But yeah, this is a good version of Maignan. It's one of the best versions we've had of him. You can use him in the Italian League Challenge, but even outside of that, it's a really good solid keeper. There's no real weakness. You could say the catching's a little bit iffy, but that's just because the other. I think that's mainly because the other stats are higher. That it makes it look a bit worse than it is. On the whole, you got some really good goalie stats on this guy. The arm coverage is decent enough. Unwavering form, Italian League Challenge. Yeah, that's a really good solid goalkeeper card. That. Next we have another Julián Alvarez card. We've had plenty of Alvarez cards, and we've got another one now. Deep lying forward, not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it's obviously another good version of him. And the booster is end product, something like offense creator. Accuracy, there you go. He's got the accuracy booster. That's interesting. I thought you got the free kick booster actually, but no, apparently not. So anyway, yeah, this is a good version of Alvarez. So again, we got unwavering form, and you can use this one in the Spanish League Challenge. He's up there with the better player of the week versions of Alvarez that we've had. They've all been kind of shuffled around in different ways in player of the week, as they always tend to be. So there might be others that you prefer to this one, not least for the playing style, because deep line forward doesn't suit everyone. It's not my cup of tea either. But yeah, in terms of overall ability, it's one of the better player of the week cards we've had. We've had quite a few of them. We've had poachers, whole players, and so on. His Showtime card's a bit better, but not a massive difference really. It's got a bunch of stats a bit higher than this, but they're 1 and 2, and this one's slightly higher than the Showtime card, to be fair. So yeah, not a massive difference between this one and the Showtime version of Alvarez. I don't see any highlight cards with a better overall rating than this one, but most of his highlights tend to get a bit more dexterity, the attacking awareness, and the balance and acceleration when you auto allocate them. Compared to his GP card, we've lost a couple of points of attack awareness because that makes no sense whatsoever. But again, boosted on the ball and passing. +2 on set piece taking. He scored a beautiful free kick and he's +2. I mean, he's already good at set pieces, but 2 seems a bit stingy. We've lost 3 points off curl. Interesting. I mean, he curled his free kick in the top corner. I don't know why they've nerfed his curl a bit. Boosted his defending, obviously. Excellent. Nice boost to his speed. That's one thing Alvarez doesn't always have. They've boosted his speed. It's more his goal poacher versions where you need that speed boost, to be honest. You benefit more from it. It's not as important on the deep line forward, but I'll take it. It's a nice boost he's had there. Lost a couple of acceleration, but that's still high enough. Likewise, the attack awareness, you can live with that. It's fine. So 2 off attack awareness, 2 off acceleration, 4 off balance. They have nerfed his dexterity for some reason. What else they boosted? They put a bit on his kicking power, his physical contact, and stamina. Yeah, that's about it from his GP card. And then skill wise, what have they done? Ooh, we've lost soul control. That's a shame. I like soul control. We've lost dipping shot. We've lost rising shots. We've lost pinpoint crossing. We've lost captaincy. I didn't know he had captaincy. But we've gained double touch. We've gained long range shooting. That's interesting. I would like to know if long range shooting impacts your free kick taking ability. I assume it does, because I don't think it really did. I mean, he didn't score with a long range shot apart from his free kick. It was just a free kick and a penalty, I think. But yeah, we've got long range shooting. We've got outside curler. Penalty specialist, of course, he scored a penalty. And fighting spirit. So yeah, good section of skills on Alvarez. Got the shooting skills there. 1 touch and through, but yeah. It's a question of where you're going to use him. I mean, he's got attack midfield, but I don't. Again, like with Nketiah, even with the passing skills in this case, I still wouldn't say those passing stats are good enough to play attacking mid. As an SS deep line forward, is the passing good enough? Borderline for some people, yeah. For me, it's still a little bit iffy. Everything else he's decent enough on the ball for an SS. The awareness from finishing are great for an SS. Pace, balance, a little bit of physical strength. Yeah, I think for some people it could be very interesting. As an SS, could definitely do a job. As an out-and-out centre forward, though, certainly on A-form is looking fantastic. Awareness and finishing, very decent on the ball for centre forward. The passing for a deep line forward, if you're playing with a centre forward, I think you can certainly get away with that. It's decent. It's not bad at all. He's got 1 touch and through. And he's got that pace and the balance. He can be lovely on the ball. Yeah, I think as a deep line forward, if you like that deep line forward playing style, you like your deep line forwards, I mean, it depends what you want from deep line forward. If you like a deep line forward to be a bit bigger, a bit more physical, to be able to hold off defenders a bit better, then he might not be for you. But if you like a deep line forward to be able to get on the ball and carry the ball a bit, be a bit more nimble, then yeah, this guy could be really fantastic for you. But it's just a question of the overall profile, the playing style, how it's going to work for you as a centre forward or SS, maybe even as an attacking midfielder. In terms of overall ability, he is one of the better versions of Alvarez that we've had. So it could well be a very nice one for you, but it depends on that playing style and the profile, like I say. But it's certainly a very good Alvarez card, and if it all works for you, the balance of the stats, the playing style, and everything else, could be a fantastic one to have. We all know the rules. Play well against Newcastle, and you get Player of the Week. So I'm getting bored of reviewing all these players who play well against us. We've got Gabriel Magalhães, face scan, got a booster. What's the booster? Punching? No, defending. So yeah, awareness, tackling, acceleration, jumping. This is a good version of Gabriel Magalhães. It's about as good as any Player of the Week or Player of the Season trending card that we've had when he's got the booster activated, at least. Possibly the best, to be honest. If you look at his other Player of the Week card that had a booster, went up to about the same rating. This one's got quite a few more points than jumping. There's not a major difference elsewhere, so I would suggest this is perhaps the best trending version of Magalhães we've had. His Showtime card is better though, but you look at his other highlight cards, I think this is probably better than any of his highlight cards, to be honest, overall. But if you look at his better highlight cards, they do tend to have a bit more on defending, whereas this one's got a bit more athleticism, so it's what you'd expect from a Player of the Week card, really. It is the pace and stamina they boosted, and the jumping as well, to be fair. In a way, that's unsurprising. Obviously had a decent leap on him when he scored the winning goal at the end, although he didn't have such a good leap on him when Baltimore scored. He just kind of fell over for no reason, but there we go. Its defending's actually been nerfed a bit. The boost does give us some points back on the defensive awareness and tackling, but yeah, they've actually slightly nerfed his defensives a bit harsh, but he's strong enough again. You know, they're all of them, even without the A form boost, he's going to be strong defensively there. No real weakness there. I would like a bit more jumping on him, even at 6'3". But you get a few extra points at least when you get the A form boost. So yeah, this is a very good version of Magalhães, one of the best that we've had. If we look at the skills, what have they added? Have they given him Showtime Punch? No. Game-changing handball? No, they've not got that one either. That's the one where you can get away with handball in the second half if your team's not winning at half-time. But yeah, we've got a nice selection of skills that have been added here, because strangely, his GP card has only got heading, man-marking, interception, error superiority. I'm pretty amazed that they've still not put more skills in his GP card. You know, he's been so good for Arsenal the last couple of years, and they're a partner club as well. But for such a good centre-back to still only have 4 skills in his GP card, that's rubbish. But we've at least had them added here. So we've got have we got all the skills you need for a centre-back? We've got heading and aerial, man marking, session blocker, sliding acrobatic, captaincy fights, but yeah, and then weighted pass. Yeah, you got a really good skills. You got all the skills you need for a centre-back. And it's a great version of Gabriel Magalhães. It's one of the best versions we've had. It's a pretty standard player of the week centre-back boost, like I say, but looking pretty solid all over. There's no real weakness there. He's better at jumping than he often is. And yeah, even though it's slightly nerfs his defending, it's still strong. Bit of pace, bit of stamina. I think for Arsenal fans, and unless you've got his Showtime card, could be a really nice pickup for you. And we've got the selection contracts now as well, so you can guarantee you can get him, which is nice. So yeah, for Arsenal fans, could be a very popular one. But for anyone who wants a good centre-back for their English League squad, or even just in general, could be a very solid one. Destroyer centre-back, good stats, good skills, unwavering form. Yeah, a very good card to pick up for a lot of people out. So there is your player of the week pack for this week. It's an alright one. I think there's some decent ones in there. I think obviously Gabriel Magalhães is a very strong centre-back, and then Tapsoba and Zabarnyi likewise. Yeah, it might not be quite as good as Gabby, but you've got 3 good centre-back cards there. Magalhães a bit better statistically, and obviously you've got the English League challenge, so he does have the edge over Tapsoba and Zabarnyi, unless you really don't like Destroyers, or unless you really don't like Arsenal or Gabriel Magalhães, in which case Tapsoba or Zabarnyi might be preferable to you, both build-ups. Nunes, rubbish in midfield, but as a right back, very solid option. Maignan, very good goalie. Alvarez, another very good version of Alvarez, but do you like a deep line forward? Maybe, maybe not. It's not going to be for everyone, but for a lot of people, it could be a great card to pick up. Nketiah could be a very nice striker for you. If you don't mind like a playing style, could be a very interesting SS as well. I don't fancy him as an attacking midfielder, but certainly SS and centre forward could be a really nice one to pick up. Welbeck could be a handy striker. Onuachu, if he suits you, could be a lot of fun. If he doesn't suit you, maybe not so much. And then these two, not brilliant cards, Morton and Asano, but certainly very usable. Asano for the Spanish League Challenge could be a handy one. Could certainly do a job, especially the Super Sub. Morton, no League Challenge, not brilliant cards. Probably the dud in the pack, to be honest with you. It's not a terrible card, it's not particularly a good one really. But yeah, on the whole, there are some decent cards in there. It's not the best selection we've had, not the worst either. Some people, I imagine a fair few people will at least find one or two decent cards in there. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know what you think. Let me know what you think. Have you found this useful? Don't think I'm going to stream today. I'm not really motivated to play the game at all right now, to be honest. I'm a little bit bored of it, but I will do a stream at some point, not least because there's a Joelinton Showtime card lurking in the database, so hopefully that's going to pop up soon. I don't know if that's going to be a 50-player pack that comes over the weekend or something, but yeah, we'll see about that. But if Joelinton does get released imminently, there will be a stream for sure, a little pack opening for that. And yeah, probably Monday I'll stream regardless, but we'll see how it goes. I'm crazy busy, but I am going to try my hardest to get 1 or 2 pack reviews done over the weekend. There's the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, there's the Barca ones as well, so I'll do my best to get those done. And yeah, for them in the meantime, again, thank you for watching, much appreciated as always. Hope you found this useful. Let me know your thoughts on the pack, who you spun, who you want to spin. Jump in the Discord if you're not already there, and hopefully I'll see you soon for a stream or another pack review. So take it easy, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.